Hey guys, and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be doing another book haul. I feel like this series is going to end up being called How Many Books Can I Stash in My House Before My Husband Divorces Me? But it's not like he's helping. It's literally not like he's helping. I literally went to the bookstore yesterday and 2 days ago. And then I bought a bunch of books at the beach. I'm mostly blaming this on the beach. Like, I got a ton of books while at the beach, and then I came home and I was still vibing. So like I said, I literally just had a haul. It was what was it, July and August haul, something like that. This is the end of August into September. So it's everything I've accumulated from the end of August into now. Now, what is today? The 9th of September. Oh my gosh, that is not a lot of time. Seeing my life flash before my eyes. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna have to do a big overhaul of my bookshelves. The problem is my husband keeps buying me new bookshelves. So now I think there's a bookshelf in every room. Anyway, let's go ahead and get to the haul because I'm trying to make these videos not too long. And yeah, so we're gonna start with manga. So if you don't like manga, just skip ahead like a couple minutes. This is not gonna take that long. I didn't get that many manga. So while I was at the beach, I picked up My Little Monster. I already read this. I don't know how I feel about this. I'll go over this in the wrap up. But basically, My Little Monster is about our two main characters, and she's kind of like very emotionally detached, very, very smart, and he is like an angry little gremlin. He is overly emotional, crazy. All he wants is friends, but he's kind of got like some weird, I don't know what's going on with his family, but I read this one and I read like 4 more on Kindle Unlimited. I don't know if I really like them. I think I don't know if I'm gonna continue getting these, but this is My Little Monster. Just picked this up. The next 2 that I picked up were like, oh my gosh, I can't believe they actually had these. But I also got them at the beach, but they're Kami-sama Kiss volumes 2 and 3. And I just happened to find these at Books A Million, which was awesome. You can't really find copies of these anywhere. I cannot find 4 through I think like 19. So I'm gonna have to wait for them to be back in print, which is really sad because I love these. These are so good. So Kami-sama Kiss is about our main character who is a human girl, and she kind of walks into a shrine, and the like shrine master, or not shrine master, but the, oh gosh, it's been a while since I read them, Tochigama gives her his power. So now she's like the guardian of the shrine, and she has a fox spirit who works as like her helper, and he's just a little gremlin too. I love little gremlins. And the next series that I picked up, actually I've already read this series, but I don't have them in physical copies. I read them on somewhere where I probably shouldn't have read them on a couple years ago because I really wanted to read them, but I didn't have the money to shell out to pay for them. So now I'm paying for them, so I feel better about it. But Aohara Ride, I absolutely love these. So I've read the first one, and then I just picked up the other 2 like yesterday. And these are actually easy to get a hold of. They are in print currently, so I'm gonna keep picking these up. But they're really pretty. They're following our main character, and she fell in love with this boy in middle school, but then he moved away before anything could happen, and we now follow her in high school, and she basically is kind of faking it till you make it. She is faking being this absolute loser because in middle school she's very sweet, very quiet, and all the boys started commenting about how they liked her because she was quiet and she was cute. So now she purposely makes herself ugly so that other girls don't hate her, and it's so sad. It's so sad. So she has like fake friends, and this boy comes along, turns out that it's her childhood love, and he comes back to school and basically is calling her out on her behaviors, and it's about her making new real friendships and them getting reacquainted and stuff. So it's lovely. It's such a cute story. highly recommend this one. So that is all the manga that I got. I was trying to be good. I don't know how long that will last. I'm sure I'm gonna get the rest of Aohara Ride as I read them. I'll probably order them. And then the second Kamasami Kiss comes back into print, you know I'm gonna be ordering all of those. So let's move on to non-manga books. So let's start off with a special edition because I didn't want to stack this with anything else, but this is spoilers. I think all of these are last month books. So if you haven't gotten them yet, I'm sorry. But the one that I'm about to show you is Illumicrate's August book. So if you don't want it, skip ahead. Babble. So pretty. It's in a slipcase. Absolutely love it. Honestly, could not tell you what this book is about. All I know is it's too smart for me. It is dark academia and it has to do with like transfiguration translation and smart things, and I'm really terrified to read this. And yeah, I honestly don't know if I'm smart enough for this. But we're gonna try it. I don't know when, but we're gonna try it. The next book that I picked up was literally again yesterday, and I picked up The Marriage Portrait. This is one that could go either way for me. I don't like American history. I'll watch documentaries, love that. I'll like listen to my husband talk about it because he's a big American history buff. I like world history, specifically my area of expertise. I'm obsessed with the King Henry VIII and before that. So like the War of the Roses, King Henry VIII, and then the Elizabethan era and stuff like that. I'm obsessed with that era, but I'm also obsessed with like Renaissance Italy. I don't know as much going on there, but this is the vibes that I like. So this book is taking place in, I'm literally going to read some of it off because it's kind of complex. It takes place in Florence in 1550s, and Lucrezia de Medici, she is like our main character that we're following, and she is getting married off to this dude, and I just love that time period. I just love the time period, even though it's literally horrendous for women. I still love this time period. It's so entertaining because most of the time, fact is more interesting than fiction at this point. Like, you legitimately don't need to mess with anything, and it's so entertaining and just absolutely wild, the stuff that happened in this time period. And it's gonna have like a ton of court intrigue, and she's gonna have to deal with her new husband and dealing with the court, and it's just, I love court drama. I love it. I am so excited to get to this book, so I really hope I end up liking this one. So the next set of books that I got were the Everlast series by Neil Shusterman, and I love these covers. Like, look at these covers. They're so pretty. My husband and I actually picked these up together. This was from a used bookstore called The Bookworm at Myrtle Beach. If you live by Myrtle Beach, or you're going to Myrtle Beach or by the area, it is my absolute favorite used bookstore. They have so much stuff. I absolutely love it. So good. I wish they had it here where I live. But basically, my husband and I decided to pick these up because we read Neil Shusterman's Scythe series together and really enjoyed it. This is totally different. And I told my husband that. I'm like, you might not like this, because he read Neil Shusterman's Burn and hated it. So we're gonna try again with one of his books. I didn't read Burn, but he said it was really boring. So this one is following Nick and Allie, and they get in a car accident and they don't survive. And they're kind of like stuck in a plane between living and death. And then they find Mary, the self-proclaimed queen of lost kids. Nick feels like he's found a home, but Allie isn't satisfied spending eternity between worlds. So Allie begins learning the criminal art of haunting and ventures into dangerous territory where a monster called the McGill threatens all the souls of Everlast. So I think this sounds really good. I don't know if my husband's gonna like these, but I feel like I'm gonna like these. And again, these covers are so cool. The next one that I picked up was also from The Bookworm, and it is called Campfire, and it's by Sean Sarles. I looked this up because I found this in a couple places. Number one, I hate this cover. I do like how this is written, and I love the spine. The spine, what am I doing? The spine is so cool. I kept seeing this, but it had really bad ratings. So I was like, I don't know if I want to pick this up. But then I saw it again at the Bookworm and I was like, I'm going to pick it up because I might really like this, because this sounds like something up my alley. Like, just simple horror camp things, and I like that kind of horror. So basically this book is following our main character Maddie, and she is out camping with a bunch of people, and one of the other people that she's camping with tells a scary story about someone called the Mountain Men and how it kills people, kills campers, and the story starts coming true, people start dying. So it just sounds like a generic fun horror that I'm probably gonna like, but a lot of horror fans probably read it and didn't. So I'm saying that, but who knows? I may absolutely despise this. So the next book that I picked up was also at the beach, but it was, we were basically killing time before we could get into our beach house, and we went to Books A Million because that's where I navigated the GPS to. My husband didn't know. Oh, he puts up with so much, and I love him so much. Find you a Lucas. Because yeah, it's bad. But I picked up Ordinary Monsters by J.M. Miro. I started reading this again. Ordinary Monsters by J.M. Miro. I've been hearing so much about this, and this cover just absolutely sold me. It's just so pretty. It's so pretty. I'm terrified of how long it is, but I can be easily peer pressured into buying books that look like this and look very pretty. So I can't get peer pressured literally into anything else. Literally nothing else. And, but books, man, you can get me to buy anything. So this book takes place in England in 1882, and it's following, something about it really reminds me of like The Diviners. So there's these kids that have powers, and it's weird, and there's like detectives that are going to be taking care of them and escorting them to safety. So it just sounds cool, and I like historical fiction fantasy a lot. So I'm like, this could be really good. This also could be, why is it this long? Like, why is it this long? Maybe it should have been 2 books. Why is it this long? So we're gonna see if I like this. Depends when I get to it. The next book that I picked up was still from the Bookworm, because I got a lot from the Bookworm. And it is For Your Own Good by Samantha Downing. This is a book that I actually really wanted for a while, and I was really excited. Like, I saw it on the shelf and I was like, it was a little aggressive. We're the only ones there. Like, no one was gonna take it from me. I don't know why I was that aggressive with it. But this is following our main character, Teddy, who is a teacher at this prestigious academy, and his wife, no one's seen her in a little while, and then there's like people that start to go missing on campus, like kids, and it's starting to look like murder, but he's like, whatevs. And I'm like, this sounds really good, and it sounds like we could be following a serial killer, but it also sounds like it's gonna be super twisty, and I am so excited about that. And I've heard very mixed reviews on this though, so this could go either way too. The next book that I picked up is my continuing saga of reading books published by Underlined, and this one is called Prom House. These are literally, I love reading these because they're so short. I think each book is, all of them are under 200 pages or just over 200 pages. I already read Horror Hotel from Underlined, and then I literally just read Small Town Monsters, and I really like that one. That was a cool book. This one, and they all have like low ratings. Small Town Monsters actually is decently rated. This one is pretty low rated. Horror Hotel is pretty low rated. They're just fun to read though. Like, these are definitely like get you in the mood for Halloween, quick, don't take them serious reads. Like, if you don't take them serious, you're gonna enjoy them. You're gonna enjoy the process of reading them. They're not like great books, but they're fun. And this book is definitely going to be one of those, don't take it too seriously, because it's following a group of teenagers staying at a beach house after prom. Like, you could not find a more generic horror slasher like concept, and I'm like so here for it. So this is probably gonna get saved for October, and I'm so excited because spooky season is coming. But the next book that I picked up is by Elin Hilderbrand, and it is called The Perfect Couple. Literally, you can see the tag. I got it on sale from Books A Million yesterday, and I'm really excited to read this because I very much absolutely adored The Hotel Nantucket. It was one of the best books I've probably read this year because it's just left me so like, it just makes you feel warm and fuzzy, and it makes you want to live in one of these small town communities, and it's just, I love it. I absolutely love it. So I really wanted to pick up another one of her books, but I was undecided about which one I wanted to pick up. And I know she has like a couple series, the Paradise series, and a couple of standalones. This one sounds the most up my alley to try out next, because who knows? The Hotel Nantucket may have been like a one-off. So this one, I tried to choose one that I thought I would definitely actually like. And this one again takes place on Nantucket in this small town setting, which I absolutely love. It's wedding season. A lot of people travel on Nantucket to get married because it's just so beautiful. And during one of these weddings, you find out that the maid of honor has been found dead, and an ensuing investigation takes place. You have to find out what's going on, bridal party. It just sounds so much fun, like a cozy beach read. I wish I had this for the beach, so this would have been perfect. So the next book that I picked up, and this is actually one of the books that I picked up at the beach, it is From Below by Darcy Coates. I just finished reading this last night. I stayed up late to finish it because it was taking me a while. This is a pretty big book. It's yeah, it's like over 450 pages. It is a chunky book for a horror especially, but this book freaked me out. I'm not gonna go into it too much. I'm actually gonna be doing a full review for this one. I wasn't expecting to do a full review, but this book is so surprising about how much I liked it and how much it scared me, because I've read some of her other books, and normally she does like haunted house books, but this one follows a group of explorers that is going to be diving deep down into unknown waters to go visit a sunken ship called the Arcadia. And once they get aboard the Arcadia, they start noticing weird writing on the walls. They keep seeing stuff out of the corner of their eyes, and it seems like they're gonna get stuck down there at some point, but you're not sure if they are or when or what's gonna happen. And it's just this creeping sense of dread the entire book. So I'm really glad I picked this one up. Had a great time reading this. Look for the review and this in the wrap up. So one of the books that came literally at the end of August for one of my August boxes was The Devil Takes You Home, and it came with this really neat translation guide, which is really cool. I think it's just like, I think there's a lot of Spanish. Yeah, there's tons of Spanish phrases. So they're explaining like what a lot of the Spanish words mean. Basically, this one is following our main character, Mario, and he decides to become a hitman. I find the idea of this book very odd, but at the same time I'm so intrigued. But he basically decides to become a hitman because he's in tons of debt due to his daughter's illness, and he decides to hijack a drug cartel's cash shipment before it reaches Mexico, which, you know, seems like a really bad idea. And it's Mario and like two other guys that he helps, like that he hires for the job. And it says that The Devil Takes You Home is a panoramic odyssey for fans of S.A. Cosby's Southern Noir Blacktop Wasteland by way of the boundary-defying storytelling of Stephen Graham Jones and Silvia Moreno Garcia. That's a lot of different authors. like I've read Stephen Graham Jones and Silvia Moreno Garcia. Their writing is so different. So I'm really curious what they mean by that. But this book makes me a little nervous because this book is either going to be amazing for me or I'm going to DNF it. So I could go either way. So I'm a little nervous. That's why I haven't picked it up yet, because normally I would have picked this one up already, because I try to read my book of the months in the same month that I get them, but I can't bring myself to pick this one up yet. The next book that I picked up, didn't realize I probably shouldn't have, is Girl Forgotten by Karen Slaughter. I didn't realize that this was like the second in a series. I didn't realize that Pieces of Her was the first one, but I've been told you don't need to actually read Pieces of Her to read this. I'm still probably gonna read Pieces of Her because I hate reading books out of order, even if they have nothing to do with the other one. I hate it. So I'm kind of annoyed that I got this, but probably next month I'll pick up Pieces of Her from Book of the Month because I think they still have it available, and I'll read that one first and then I'll read this one. The next book that I picked up, and arguably one of my most anticipated books of this year, is Love on the Brain by Ali Hazelwood. Absolutely loved The Love Hypothesis. I've heard this is kind of like a rinse and repeat of Love Hypothesis because it's again happening in STEM, which I love because it's kind of what I went to school for. I have degrees in biology and biochemistry, but I also took like a minor in in engineering for science majors. So they dumbed down the math because we don't have like the big math that engineers did. I would have been an engineer if not for damn calculus. Once you start adding letters, like, oh, I'm good at algebra. Once you start adding squigglies and weird things happening in math, can't do it. Can't do it. So they basically dumb it down and they teach you how to code and how to do other engineering computer things, but at a level that we would understand. So it's kind of like you're not going to jump an engineer straight into third level chemistry. They're not going to understand it. I've literally talked to my husband, who's an engineer, about the advanced chemistry stuff that I was doing, and he was like, what? Does that exist? What is that? So like, it's the same idea. Like, they're not saying we're stupid. It's just, you don't jump people who don't have any experience in a subject straight into the deep end. You don't throw them in. So I really appreciate those classes, and it was really cool. It was really cool in learning how to do a little bit of coding. So basically this is following our main characters, B and Levi, and it seems to be like an enemies to lovers thing, just like, well, Love Hypothesis was more fake dating. This seems like enemies to lovers, but it's just, it just seems so good, and I don't care if it's a rinse and repeat. I legitimately don't care if it's a rinse and repeat. If it is, I'm gonna like it. So I'm excited. The next book that I picked up is Killers of a Certain Age. This is another one that is either going to be, I'm going to love it or I'm going to hate it, but it is following a bunch of retired assassins, and I think they're on like a cruise or something. All expense paid vacation for their retirement, and then someone sends assassins after them to kill them. So it sounds really fun, but I don't know. This could be either way. I think I'm going to love this. I think this is going to be one of those books that's probably going to be a 5 stars. I'm really excited about it. Next book that I picked up was also at the very end of August, and I got it in the same box as The Devil Takes You Home, and it is The It Girl by Ruth Ware. I have most of Ruth Ware's books, and I've only read one. Like, I literally have like 6 of her books. I've only read one. I don't know why I keep picking her books up and just not reading them. No idea. No idea. I'm gonna need to like make a video about reading Ruth Ware's books. That's probably what I should do. I should do a reading vlog about Ruth Ware because I have all of them. I have all of them. Basically, we're following Hannah Jones, and she meets the enigmatic April, and she's the it girl. They have a group of friends together, and by the end of the year or semester or whatever, April is found dead. So you're trying to figure out what happened to her, what led up to this happening, who's involved, friends, not friends, etc. So it sounds fun. It sounds like a thriller I'm gonna enjoy. We are done with one full stack. Oh my gosh. I talk too much about some of these books, but some of them I'm like really excited about. So let's get on to the next stack of books. Okay, so if you have not seen the Fairy Loot August young adult book, because I got that again at the end of August, look away, but it is Violet Made of Thorns. Absolutely pretty. I've already talked about the first one, so I'm not gonna really talk about this one. I love the little thing. It's just a really, really pretty book. I'm excited to get to this one. The next book that I picked up was also from a bookworm, and it's kind of one that my husband picked out, but we're gonna probably read together. And it's because I also love this author, but it's Michael Crichton, and it is Pirate Latitude. So I've read, which ones have I read by him? I've read Jurassic Park, The Lost World, which I pretend I never read because it was awful. It did not feel like his writing at all. I also read, which one did I read? I've read like 3 more of his books. I just can't remember which ones they are, but I generally like everything that he has written so far, except for the one that, again, pretend like he didn't. So we picked up Pirate Latitude, and this is, I think it's taking place in the 1665 in a remote colony of the English Crown in Jamaica, Port Royal. Reminds me very much of like Pirates of the Caribbean. Just has to do with pirates and gold and stealing from countries and fighting. So it's just gonna be a fun, quick read. All right, the next book that I got, I am so excited to read it because it has one of my favorite, like, God, settings. That's the word. Oh, my English teacher would be so mad at me. But it takes place in one of my favorite settings, and those are movie sets. I love when books take place on movie sets, okay? And this is called Runtime. First of all, Love the cover. I am so excited about this book. It is following an actress who gets hired very quickly onto a movie set. And when she gets there, it's a little bit weird. And she's reading through the script and it's going to be like a thriller murder kind of thing. And then she finds out, oh, people are actually dying. So she basically is getting invited into like a snuff film. So it's going to be following her getting away, what's going on. And it's cool because interspersed throughout the book are actual like the script. So you get to like see what's happening and then you also get to read like what's happening in the script, which is so cool. Also, if you buy this book, please tell me because it is the heaviest book that I've ever picked up. The pages, like one page is like the thickness of 3 or 4 regular pages in a paperback. It is such a high quality book. And like, you can even see like, this is so thick and it's like super nice. And I remember when I got this in the mail, I was like, did I order 6 books in one? And then I opened it and it was just this one book. And I'm like, why is it so heavy? It's not even that long. Why is it so heavy? But holding it feels like an 800-pound book, or pound book, oh my god, 800-page book. So if you pick this up, let me know. And let me know if your copy is this heavy. The next book that I picked up, again, if you haven't seen Fairy Loot's August adult book, skip ahead. But I finally got my copy and I think I like it better than Illumicrates. And it's Babble Again, and I love the white cover. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. And then boom, I was lucky enough that I got one of the perfect editions because some people were having issues with the picture being like wavy, but mine is like perfect. It is absolutely perfect. But the book is just, it's just so beautiful, and I love the gray white scheme. And there's art and the original artwork on the front, hard case. So it's just, they, to me, did an amazing job. I'm so happy with how this book turned out. Next book that I picked up is going to be another one that I'm going to read with my husband, and it is Into Thin Air by Jon Krakauer. I have read, watched, podcasted every possible thing about Everest, K2, mountaineering. I just am so fascinated with the absolute lack of desire to actually do it. I just love reading about it. So I couldn't believe that I hadn't read this yet. I'd heard about it for years, and I think I even watched like, I think there's a movie or a documentary literally called Into Thin Air that's pretty much this book. And I've even watched that and I haven't read the book. So my husband read it like 10 years ago or 15 years ago. So he's like, let's get it from Book of the Month and read it together. So we've been slowly reading through this together. So let's say we're about this far into the book, and it is fantastic. Love it. Very excited to continue reading it. Okay, we're on to the very like last couple of books, which is very exciting. I'm like looking around, make sure I got everything. So the next book that I picked up yesterday at a board game store. It was the only book in the entire board game store, and I bought it. It looked lonely, but it is called Wrath of Nakai, and it is an Arkham Horror book. So my husband are huge board game people. Very, very, very much love board games, and Arkham Horror is one of those crazy Lovecraftian board games that is wicked hard, and it is so much fun, and I'm always fascinated by it. So Arkham Horror is basically about like portals opening in this very dark like 1920s city, and you basically have to close the portals before these absolutely horrendous creatures come through, and you have to stop like the old gods from getting through into the world. And so this is pretty much what this book is about. You're following this badass looking detective, and it takes place in the 1920s Massachusetts, and she's a countess, and she's going to be, arrives in Arkham pursuing an ancient body freshly exhumed from a mountain in Oklahoma. And she's basically just going to be fighting off bad things and figuring out what's going on. And it sounds so good. And it says that this is number 10 in the series, but it also says it's the first in a new series of spine-chilling adventures based in the world of the best-selling Arkham Horror games. So I think it's like, it's one of those situations, a lot of board games have accompanying books, but they're written by different authors. So I bet this is like, well, he has written a bunch of other stuff for Arkham, but I bet it's like the next iteration in this series. So it's 10, but it's also technically like 10.1 1 or something like that. So I'm really excited to read this. I might read this next because it seems like just one of those really fun quick reads. Next book that I picked up, I'm sure you just saw, was Book Lovers by Emily Henry. I picked this up at Bookends. It's also another used bookstore in Myrtle Beach. Yeah, it sounds like it's Enemies to Lovers, which is why, because I knew I wanted this one over her other books. And it's because I love Enemies to Lovers and fake dating. So Enemies to Lovers, very excited. Can't wait to read this one. I think I'm gonna enjoy it. The next book that I picked up was Fairy Loot's special edition of Empress Crowned in Red. It is so pretty, and another one that I'm pretty excited to read. I read Witches Steeped in Gold, and I think I gave it like a 3 or a 3.5. I enjoyed it. It was a little convoluted, but I also loved, like, it probably could have been shortened, which is probably how I'm gonna feel about this one. This is over 700 pages. These books could be a little shorter. The next book that I picked up was the August Owl Crate, and it came kind of late, and it's The Drowned Woods. I don't love this edition. I don't like either edition that I got. I think in Lumicrate we also got it, and they changed, I think the original cover was like purple, and they changed their edition to blue, and it just falls flat to me. I love the purple. The purple's so pretty. And then this one, I love the original cover, so I wasn't super excited, but I understand why Owl Crate did this. The Bone Houses is this color scheme. They changed it to this color scheme, and it's the same author. So they just wanted their editions to match, which is pretty cool. This is following our main character, Mare, who is like a waterbender. I would really need to go rewatch Avatar. And she manipulates water, and she is working for the crown prince or king, whatever. And I think she's like working against him. And she has a motley crew of allies, fake cursed young man, lady of thieves, and a corgi. So I'm really excited. And it says it's part heist novel, part dark fairy tale. And I mean, it sounds really good, and it's really not that long. So I'm actually pretty excited to read this one. So we're hopefully gonna pick this up soon. We're down to the last 3 books. So the next book that I picked up was At the Beach, All of Our Demise. This is the second book to the All of Us Villain series. Love the first one. It's following a group of people who are part of these elite families who are cursed, that they have to take part in this basically Hunger Games every 20 years. The person who wins, who comes out alive, their family gets access to high magic. This is the second one. I'm not going to say anything that happened in the first one. It was fantastic. Go read it. I am so excited to read the second one. The next book that I picked up is The Final Gambit. This is the 3rd book, hopefully final book in the series. This series is following a girl who gets willed. She inherits billions of dollars from this random dude that she doesn't know, and she has to go live in his mansion for a year, and she has to deal with his family who are assholes and his grandkids that are wild. There's love triangles and stuff going on. This is an entertaining series, and I actually really like Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I've read a couple things from her, so this has been an up and down series for me, so I'm really excited to get to the 3rd one. Another book that I picked up from the Bookworm, and the last one that I picked up from the Bookworm, is Notes on an Execution. I am so excited to get through this. All I know about this book is, number one, it's gorgeous. I wish more books were like this purple, the vibes. But I think it's following like the family members or the sister or somebody related to a serial killer. So you're getting like the story of a serial killer from other people's point of views, and it just sounds really, really good. And I literally just read a book, When They Were Bright and Beautiful, which is following the family of an accused rapist. So I'm curious if it's gonna be similar to that, or it's gonna be way different. So I am really curious how this is gonna be. I'm really excited about this. I feel like it's gonna be heartbreaking, and yeah, I'm really excited about it. Oh, the last book that we're gonna be talking about, and probably my most anticipated one, even though I have one of their other books, I haven't read it yet, even though I'm like really excited about it. I don't know why I keep putting these books off. I don't understand what I'm doing. But I had to go out and I picked up Sunbury Trials by Anne Thomas, and I am so excited for this book. It sounds so good, and I mean, look at this cover. So it is following I believe a trans character, just like trials, and my favorite thing is competitions. So these people are chosen by the gods, and they have to take place in these, they have to go through these trials and try to make it through, and it just sounds so good. I'm like not doing it any favors, but my brain is all jumbled because I feel terrible. But I am so excited about this. Soul selects 10 of the most worthy semi-dioses to compete in the Sunbear Trials. The winner carries light and life to all the temples of Reno del Sol, but the loser has the greatest honor to be sacrificed. So it just sounds so good. It's gonna be competition, and I cannot wait to pick this up, and it's still literally one of the prettiest covers that I've ever seen. So that is my book haul. We got through it. This video is way too long. I hope I can cut out a lot of stuff, because right now I'm at 55 minutes. Yeah, that's not gonna work. We're gonna cut some stuff out. But I gotta get this under control. I'm on a book buying ban, minus like the books that are coming in my book boxes. And of course, well, I already have mostly everything pre-ordered. So coming out this month, we have the new Stephanie Garber, which I already have pre-ordered from Waterstones. I am gonna go get the Barnes & Noble copy though. I have like a million copies of the first one. I think I have it from Alcrate too. Oh gosh. I already have 2 copies of The Golden Enclave by Naomi Novak pre-ordered, Waterstones, and a copy from a small bookstore, an indie bookstore. I already have Foul Lady Fortune pre-ordered from Waterstone, or from Fairy Loot, so who knows when I'm gonna see that book. I think that's it. I can't think of any other ones that I've pre-ordered this month, but I'm so excited. I have so many books that I want to read, which is the problem. There's so many good books. So I don't know. I gotta really step it up this month and start just going through books. So we're gonna see what happens. But this is my book haul. If you've read any of these books, let me know if you like them. If you didn't, no spoilers, please. If you have any manga recommendations, or if you have any book recommendations based on what I've bought, let me know in the comments. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this book haul. Don't judge me too much for this being the second book haul in less than 30 days. So had a great time, and I'll see you guys in the next video.